Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to share with you a super simple and delicious blueberry cheesecake recipe. I love blueberries, boysenberries, blackberries, but blueberries are now in season and I have cream cheese, so I thought, why not make some blueberry cheesecake? Now, there's two ways to make a cheesecake, or bake I should say. The first one is just bake it dry, straight into the oven, or in a water bath. Now I wanted to take the time to explain the difference between both. If you bake it dry, what can end up happening is the center can be uncooked, the cake can puff up, or it can crack. And when you cook it in a water bath, it heats it up evenly, and in a water bath, no matter how hot the oven is, the cheesecake is not going to burn because the water can only heat up to 212 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it great because it doesn't end up browning your cheesecake. You'll see sometimes when people just bake it straight onto the oven, it'll look brown. It'll have that brown looking color. It's just not attractive. You want to have that white marbly texture on top, and that's why we're doing a water bath. A water bath is not difficult. It takes maybe a few more minutes and it's totally worth the time. As it is, cheesecake can take time to actually bake and prep and whatnot, so you want to make sure you do it right. And this recipe is super simple, and I'll go through the water bath portion so that you're educated and you feel comfortable doing it, because honestly, the first time I did it, I was a little intimidated by the foil in the water in the oven. I was like, what is going on? But now I absolutely love it because my cheesecake is a lot better looking than it was before. I didn't like the browning, I didn't like the cracking, and sometimes my center wouldn't be cooked. You gotta understand, the consistency of cheesecake is more of a custardy consistency as opposed to like bread, which has flour in it. So if you like to learn how to make the perfect, easy, and delicious blueberry cheesecake, please keep watching. And if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe so you don't miss any of my videos. For today's recipe, we're going to be using butter, graham crackers, or really any kind of cracker you have. I've used Maria's crackers before and they're pretty good. We're going to need cornstarch, vanilla extract, blueberries, 3 large eggs, sugar, 24 ounces of cream cheese, lemon juice, and sour cream. Alrighty, so first thing we're going to do is preheat the oven to 350. Next, we're going to grab our graham crackers and throw them in the food processor. And I believe I'm going to use 1.5 to 2 packages of graham crackers. So I'm going to blend a few at a time. And you want to get about anywhere between 1.5 to 2 cups. Now that our crackers have a nice crummy formation, whatever you want to call it, we're going to dump them in a bowl. And we're going to add our, oh, there's my oven. We're going to add about 8 tablespoons of butter. And we're going to mix that up. And next, we're going to add sugar. We're going to add about a 1/4 cup of sugar. And I don't like my crust to be too sweet, so I think 1/4 is pretty good. So I'm going to measure out 1/4 here. And there's 1/4. We're going to combine that. once we've mixed everything together, we're going to grab our spring form pan, and I lined it up with parchment paper, and it's called spring form because it's got this little clip right here where you can unclip it and it opens up. And I'm going to actually spray some canola spray in there as well. And I'm going to use this kind of canola spray, and I usually get this one at Trader Joe's. Such a good deal. And I'm just going to spray the sides as well. And then we're going to add our crumbs to the spring form pan. And if you've seen my previous videos, you'll see that on my key lime pie, I actually used a different kind of cracker. So, similar process, different cracker. And I'm just gonna press it. You wanna press it into the bottom and slightly up to the sides. So, just take your time and make sure that it's nice and tight. It's the only way I can explain this. You can also use the back of your measuring cup to just kind of get it on there. And then just fine tune. What we want to do is, once we're done with the crust here, we're going to bake it for about 10 minutes. Now, here is where the tricky part begins. We're going to wrap foil around the bottom of the spring form pan to prep it for the water bath. So I'm going to bake it with the foil. That way when it comes out and it's hot, I can... Oh my gosh, today I'm a mess. That way when it comes out and it's hot, it's already prepped for me to add the filling and throw it in the oven. So, we're going to grab our foil here. And I love Costco, you guys. Costco has the best price in foil, and this foil lasts forever. So you're going to do more than one layer because you want to make sure that water isn't going to leak in here when it's time for the water bath. Two should be enough, but being the type of person I am, I'm going to do 3. Today has been one of those days where not everything has gone right, so I just want to make sure I cover all my bases. Now sometimes you have off days and your energy's off or something's off, Mercury's in retrograde, I don't know. Something's off. Okay, now that you have it nice and lined, we're going to throw it in the oven for 8 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna go, I think 8 minutes should be more than enough. And meanwhile that's happening, we're going to work on our blueberries. Over medium heat, we're going to throw in 2 cups of blueberries. And we're going to throw in about 3 tablespoons of sugar. And this is all over medium heat. And you're just going to let that sit. Meanwhile, that's going on, we're going to mix in a little bowl. We're going to mix the lemon juice, the cornstarch, and the water. So I have my lemon juice right here. Now let me do it here. I'm going to throw in about a teaspoon of lemon juice. And then we're going to throw in a tablespoon of cornstarch. This is the cornstarch. Tablespoon of this. And then lastly, we're going to put in a little bit of water. So about a tablespoon of water. And then we're going to mix this up. And then we're going to add it to the blueberries. So it's gonna make this liquid, this white liquid. Now, as you mix, what you want to do is smash the berries. So we're going to mix and just smash. You don't want to smash all your berries, just some of them. And what you're going to do, let's see, I don't think this is doing a good job at smashing, so I'm going to get my bean smasher, that's what I call it, and smash a few of them. Make sure I don't smash all of them because you want some of these to be whole, but you want some of the juice from the blueberries as well. So maybe just mash one half side. Now you're going to remove from heat once this is thickened, and you can tell it's getting to that point. So they're as smashed as I'd want them to be. Now I'm just going to stir so they don't burn. This is such a great way to make a topping for your pancakes. And you can use any fruit, really. You can use strawberries, you can use anything you want. Same process. Okay, so you can tell it's thick. So now that it's nice and thick, we're going to turn off the heat and we're going to run it through a strainer. Now I've got my strainer right here, and I'm going to use this bowl and just strain the juices out of the blueberries so that you can separate the whole blueberries with the juice. And just kind of move it around. And you want to do this to the whole mixture. See, you're getting nothing but the nice syrupy yummy stuff that you're going to mix on your cheesecake. Alrighty, so it's been 10 minutes. I took out my crust from the oven, and now I'm going to prepare the filling. So I have 24 ounces of cream cheese in here, and we're going to mix them. Now, if you have one of those fancy stand mixers, that's great. You can use that. Not all of us have one of those, so I'm using a hand mixer, and it works just as well. So don't worry about spending $300 on that when you've got a hand mixer. So we're going to mix this until it's smooth. So I'm going to say about 5 minutes. And you want to start off low and then little by little move higher. One thing I guess I didn't mention is you want your cream cheese to be softened. So I actually let it sit for about an hour in room temperature. The longer you do it, the better. I mean, obviously not all day, but you know, an hour or two is good enough. So it's easy to mix. As you can see, our cream cheese is now nice and creamy. And it's been about 3 minutes, so it didn't take a full 5 minutes. Now, I want to add the sugar, which is about 1 cup of sugar. And I want to mix it for an additional 3 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes, you know, until it's all well incorporated before we add the rest of the ingredients. Alrighty, so it's been mixing for about 3 minutes. Now what I'm going to do, and I wasn't hating on the stand mixers, I'm just totally jelly because I wish I had one. But anyway, you don't need it. We're going to add about half a tablespoon of vanilla extract. I'm just gonna eyeball it. And then we're going to add 1 cup of sour cream. And I'm going to measure it here. Because I don't think I'm going to have enough in this package, but I might. Alright, so I was able to squeeze out a cup. I'm going to pour the sour cream in. I'm going to give it a little quick stir before I blend it with my hand mixer. Just want to make sure I'm combining everything. And then we're going to add our eggs. And for the eggs, we're going to add 1 egg at a time. Just to make sure that everything mixes properly, especially because with the hand mixer there's a little less power, and I don't know, I don't want to get dirty, I don't want it to get on my clothes, so 1 at a time. And now we're going to add 1 egg. And we're going to mix. Remember, start low and then increase the speed. Now we're going to add our 2nd egg. And mix. Now we're going to, oops. You know what? If I was to show you guys all the bloopers, you guys would crack up. I'm not very, what is that word? I'm not very elegant in the kitchen. But I'm a very messy cooker. But while things are cooking, I start cleaning. Alright, so, the batter's good. So this is the last egg. You want to blend until it's all mixed. All right. Now that I have my filling nice and mixed, and by the way, you should probably taste it so you know how good it is in sugar, if you want to add more sugar. I don't know, if you like it sweeter, whatever the case, you should taste it. Now the next thing we're going to do is, I took this out of the oven after 10 minutes and I set it out to cool. Meanwhile, I was making my filling. And so that gave my crust time to cook. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add our batter, or filling I should say, to our pan. Now, just gonna pour it nice and easy. You guys, let me tell you, this filling tastes so good. And the blueberry mixture, I love blueberries as it is. But blueberry jam, oh my gosh, I love blueberry jam. You can make your own homemade jam. You know, it's healthier for yourself and the kids, and you can use stevia instead of sugar. So there's an idea. So once we poured all our filling, we're going to just smooth it out a little bit here. And you can honestly stop there. If you don't want to add filling, if you want a regular, New York style cheesecake, then that's enough. You can just cook it from this point forward. But it's blueberry season, and honestly, I'm extra. I like extra. So if I can make it look prettier, taste better, I will go the extra mile. Oh, this is so good. Am I the only one that licks the spoon? Okay. Now, here is the fun part. So we're going to add, here's my blueberry sauce, which I strained. I have my blueberries in a separate container. Now we're going to add about 1/4 of a cup of this blueberry sauce on top of the batter. And what we're going to do is, with the knife, we're going to gently just swirl it around in a marble fashion. Like, don't worry about how it, just swirl it around. So. And we're just going to swirl it around. Don't worry about how it looks, if it looks perfect, because it's going to taste amazing. And I never knew that this is how, this reminds me so much of the Carl's Jr. cheesecake. When my mom first came into this country, one of her first jobs was actually at Carl's Jr. And so my favorite thing at Carl's Jr. was eating the cheesecake, the blueberry cheesecake. So this kind of takes me back to those times. I want to add a little bit more. And just swirl it around. Now you can stop at whatever design you want. I just want to make sure I get blueberry around the whole cheesecake. I want every bite to have a little swirl. Okay, that's perfect for me. Now what we're going to do is we're going to get a large roasting pan, or anything that you have, a cookie sheet, whatever you have that your spring form pan will fit into. And you're going to set it up in the middle. Now, this one barely fits in here, so I don't need to worry about it moving around or anything like that. And as I've been talking to you, I've been heating up some water. So I heated up a little bit of water, and now I'm going to scoop it in and pour it into my roasting pan. And you want to fill it up to about, I don't know, what is it, ½ inch to an inch of hot water. Now, I would have used my sink water, but the thing is, I don't know, my sink water was coming out cold and I didn't want to have to wait. I'm not patient, so I'm gonna make sure it's throughout the whole roasting pan. Like I said, this step to me is very important to a perfect cheesecake. If you skip this step, I don't guarantee you'll have the perfect cheesecake. Alrighty, so we have about looks like about an inch of water. So now we're going to bake this baby for anywhere between 55 to 60, 65 minutes. Until the center is almost set. So the center is always the last thing to cook. But you don't want to take it out when there's no longer a jiggle. There has to be a jiggle because it'll continue cooking once you take it out. So if it's only just a little jiggly, that's perfect, that's fine, take it out. You don't want to overcook your cheesecake. And maybe I'm emphasizing this too much, but to me, it's important. If there's a little jiggle, don't worry about it, because it's probably cooked evenly anyway because of the hot bath. So I'm going to stick it in my oven and I'll be back in about an hour. Alright guys, so my cheesecake is done. It's been about an hour. Now I'm just turning off the oven and opening the door slightly so that my cheesecake can continue to cook from inside for about another hour before I completely take it out. So it's in there, the heat's off, but it's just cooking with whatever heat was left over. Then I'm going to take it out, let it cool completely, and then I'm going to leave it in the fridge overnight. And tomorrow we'll see what it looks like. Alrighty guys, and I just cut me a slice, and you can see the nice purple swirls. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to top it with a little bit of blueberry sauce, and it's good to go. Perfect. Here is our close-up. It's delicious. And there you guys have it, this delicious and super easy to make blueberry cheesecake. It's so good. Definitely better than Carl's Jr. It's moist, it's creamy. The crust is to die for. And this jam, super good. It's not super sweet. It's just perfect for this cheesecake. I hope you guys give this a try. Such a simple recipe, and I always tell you guys I'm not a baker. So for me to do this, if I can do it, anyone can do it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And as always, if you did, please give me a big thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. And I'll see you in my next video.